The 2024 U.S. Farm Report College Roadshow from the University of Minnesota is brought to you exclusively by Beck's. From farmers' first pass in the field to the final one at harvest, it's a game plan rooted in faith and belief. Beck's Hybrids is with you every turn because both on and off the field, we're all farmers at heart. See why at beckshybrids.com.
Well, imagine being trained for a very specific job, but being told you were being hired to do anything but that. Well, that was the case for one researcher here at the University of Minnesota. And that tall task opened the door for an entirely new world of groundbreaking research and opportunities. Rex Bernardo isn't your typical plant breeder. Instead of actually breeding corn, he's finding new and innovative ways for other researchers to do that.
I was hired as a corn breeder, but I was basically told, Rex, don't breed any corn. We don't need you to breed any corn because the private companies do such an excellent job at doing that.
Originally from the Philippines, he never saw power tools as he was growing up. They did everything by hand, even when building houses.
It's only when I came to the U.S. that I found, oh, there are power tools. There are saws that are powered by these motors. And I thought to myself, boy, if these two guys had these power tools, the house they built would have been built probably with a higher quality and easier and quicker. And this same concept of power tools applies to plant breeding.
It's that concept that launched his career, finding better ways to breed crops to better serve farmers' needs.
We use drones, we use DNA fingerprints. We even try to simulate the entire breeding process and ask what-if questions. What if we grew these hybrids in 5 locations, or 8, or 10? What if we do this, and while keeping the costs the same, how much gain do we get in the end?
For Bernardo, it's important to keep that curiosity burning, always searching for ways to better breed corn.
We have a growing population, we have dwindling resources, we have increased demands, and we're expecting more and more of the crops that we have. And to keep up with this demand for meat, for plants meeting human needs, I think we need to come up with better and better ways to breed corn or any other crop for that matter.
Researching ways to use different technologies available, he says there have been many successes as well as failures.
We learn a lot from failures, and oftentimes we learn more, as you well know, from the failures we have than from the fewer successes that we have.
As he works to uncover improved methods of breeding corn, he says he's learned cost and access to technology are two of the most important factors today.
When I started my career, for example, the way corn breeding was done was we simply grew corn out in the field and we see how they yielded, did they stand up, and then we made evaluations based on these field data. And then DNA fingerprints came to the fore. And at that time, DNA fingerprints were so expensive, but now they are a lot cheaper than evaluating a corn hybrid out in the field, and that has been a game changer. Just that cost differential and the quickness at which we can do these types of evaluations just has changed the way we do corn breeding.
From being able to predict if the corn will lodge or not, or even be resistant to disease, he says the DNA is like a roadmap.
Genome-wide prediction is simply the use of cheap and abundant DNA fingerprints to predict how a corn hybrid might yield, or how tall it would be, or what grain moisture it would have at harvest.
It's forecasting those possible bends in the road that allow researchers to bring better products to market even faster for farmers.
What we're simply doing is using DNA fingerprints as a surrogate or a substitute for field testing. That doesn't mean we don't need any field testing because we need that database of field data, but then we use those DNA fingerprints as sort of a tie to be able to do these predictions. My hope for my own research is to make a meaningful difference in discovering new things that others have not found out, to add to the arsenal, so to speak, or the toolkit that breeders have to help them do a better job. I wasn't hired to breed corn here at the University of Minnesota, so I'm researching different methods that I hope practitioners in different species and other universities where public plant breeding is done, or in the seed industry where these practitioners can put into practice these tools that I've developed.
When we come back, a glimpse around the globe is next.
Register now for the Milk Business Conference, December 10th and 11th in Vegas, for a chance to win tickets to the National Finals Rodeo while in town.